This year, we are delivering 1,800 petitions to the team. Over 4 years, we have gathered more than 7,140 petitions. The question for team owner Dan Snyder is, does he want to become the last owner to drop a dictionary-defined racial slur as a name for his team? We come and appeal to you. If you change the name, your action would reinforce the best of American history as a nation founded upon the ideal that all people are created equal and that diversity is its strength.
I'm very disturbed by the news this morning about the kind of runaround, sneaky way they're trying to build a stadium in our community in the District of Columbia. Myself and several of my colleagues are fighting this effort for multiple reasons, but most importantly because we don't want that name used, put on a building and demonstrating the contradiction with our values in the District of Columbia.
Dear Mr. Snyder, we, the members of the Native American community of Greater Washington, are here again today to demand the Washington football team change its incredibly insidious and racially destructive name. As members of intertribal nations, we, with intact traditional cultures, values, and identities indigenous to these lands here and across the United States, we implore the R-Word organization to seek out a non-harmful caricature to use as its emblematic mascot. We suggest one that does not conjure the negative effects of systematic racism from the era of anti-Indian policies.
The word redskin was originally used in an article back in the colonial days for bounties on Native American scalps. And the sentence says, "Leave the redskin, blood-soaked bodies where they lie."
I'm so tired living here and constantly being reminded every time I see the team name or logo that my people are not taken seriously as human beings or even respected, because this team is allowed to parade us about as mascots. Dan Snyder, you and your supporters should be the ones that are feeling ashamed. Is that logo what we're supposed to look like? Did we only exist in history?
For those who minimize this cause, I want to make the point that every manifestation of racism must be challenged.
Change the name!
Change the name!
Change the logo!
Change the logo!
Change the name!
Change the name!
Change the logo!
Change the logo!
Definition of bullying is trying to influence somebody, trying to intimidate somebody. A shift of power. Bullying hurts people, hurts their feelings, hurts their self-esteem, hurts their pride. That's what oppression does.
210 that runs down Maryland. I was taught by the Tayak family that still exists today in Maryland. They are from the Piscataway Nation, the Beaver Clan. That old Indian Head Highway, actually there was a time before the Red Scalps that body parts were for sale, and they would line the heads up along old Indian Head Highway.
This year the National Congress of American Indian, along with 9 other equity groups across the country, demanded and set precedent that these mascots affect our students and speak for our youth long before they can speak for themselves.
Can you imagine a logo with a swastika on the helmet? It's basically the equivalent. This has to stop.
Whenever you speak that word, I don't care what the context is, you normalize it. When you write that word, you normalize it. I don't care if it's on a sign, on your back, what the context is. When someone sees that word, it's normalized.
And hearing what he just had to say, I will no longer use that word in any, okay? Because I agree with what he says 100%.
Yeah.